Hi everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Ungrownups video transmission. I'm your host Mark, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Hot Toys MMS 207 Sideshow edition of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Superman 3 Evil Superman version. So I think a lot of people were fairly let down about this announcement this year. It seemed like the other announcements of the exclusive Hot Toys figures for San Diego Comic-Con were pretty well received. You had, everybody's finally getting their actual, Hot Toys produced Bruce Willis head sculpt from his appearance in G.I. Joe Retaliation. But everybody seemed to be sort of let down about this, about this particular figure, the Evil Superman. I think a lot of people saw it as a money grab on Hot Toys' part. Just take a figure that already exists, darken his costume and colors, and, shove it out there and we'll just buy it no matter what. I'm sure there's some legitimacy to that. I'm sure that it's easy for a toy company to, simply do a repaint and put it back out and sell it again. Of course, there's low cost to them. But, I do think that, while not a necessary purchase if you are a current owner of the original Christopher Reeve Superman, I wouldn't say this is a definite, you have to go get. Evil Superman did not battle good Superman in the film. In Superman 3, he battled Clark Kent. So I can't say that there'd be a reason even to have both of these versions unless you're just a diehard Christopher Reeve Superman collector. Enough talk. Let's look at the package. You got the Sideshow edition right here. The Superman 3 and the Superman Evil version information is all on this plastic outer sleeve, and you can see how it has the embossing for the logo. But what I like about it is, like this Superman is darker than the original Superman, this actually has a sort of a graphite color, and as you remove the outer layer, it becomes brighter and cleaner, like the original Superman costume. So with the sleeve on, it actually looks darker, like the suit does. And a nice little addition they added here is they added magnets and a little flap, so you can actually open it up, and you can see inside. Unfortunately, of course, the box is empty. He's already on my shelf. And it says, if the world's most powerful computer can control even Superman, no one on Earth is safe. So, nice little addition there. I like that it's got the window box and the flap on the front with the little magnets, and nothing on the back. Just a simple blue box, and the credits are actually on the back of the sleeve. So it's actually a really cool packaging. Wow, that went on a lot better than I thought it was going to. So now that we've taken up enough time looking at this box, let's take a look at the figure itself. Okay, now that we've got Superman opened up out of the package, this is what you get. It's not a lot, but I have to tell you that except for the fact that the first release had a Sideshow exclusive that came with a little metal chain and the kryptonite fragment, I honestly think that this figure comes with the better accessories, if one can consider the base an accessory. He comes with the exact same hands, which are two relaxed palms, as you'll see here, two in-flight palms that are basically just like this, and two fists. It's the exact same hands that the first release came with. And it's exactly, for all intents and purposes, the exact same figure. It's basically a repaint. And you do have a darker suit. You have a different paint scheme on the upper chest, neck, and head. It looks a little darker. He's not as pale. He's a little tanner, a little dirtier. There's no weathering on the outfit at all, so there's no battle damage or anything like that. It's just that the colors are darker and more muted. So you also have a different paint scheme on the face to make him look a little more evil. It's got the 5 o'clock shadow, and we'll zoom in and take a closer look at that. But this is what you get opened up out of the package. This is what's in there. And we're going to take a really close look, since there's really no accessories, at the base, because the base is fantastic. The base may be worth the price of this figure alone. I don't know, because I don't know what the base is going for on eBay. I'm sure that there's some people out there selling it for pretty good price. Or a pretty high price, rather, because it just lends itself to so many other figures in the Hot Toys catalog. I mean, I could see the space being used for, of course, anything from the Avengers, from Thor to Hulk, to maybe Bane and Batman. I'm not sure. Use your imagination. For me personally, I can't wait to use this base with the Henry Cavill Superman figure from Man of Steel that's coming out next year in 2014. This will be the base that I use for that figure. So anyway, why don't we take a closer look at this the base that I keep going on and on about. Okay, so zooming in here on the base, you can see that you get quite a bit of broken up concrete, and this is fairly pliable rubber. I wouldn't say that it's as soft as the Sentinel head in the new Wolverine release from X-Men 3. It's not that soft, but it's also not like, you know, super hard. As you can see, you can move it down in places. But this base is just absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the better bases Hot Toys has ever made. You can see some street lines here, some paint. You have some white paint here. And the detail is quite nice. I mean, Hot Toys is really good at sculpting like rock detail, as we've seen in the past. But this is pretty cool. And I don't know if you can notice this or not, but it almost looks like the plastic is made, it's connected to like the cardboard, because this still looks like the same kind of base that we got, say, with like the Goblin figure from Spider-Man. Who else had this base, this type of shape? Was it also the Indiana Jones figure? So I'm not sure if this is removable or not, because that still looks like cardboard right there on the edge. So it certainly doesn't feel removable in any way. No, it doesn't feel removable. Right here on the back, you will see that this also doubles as a flight stand, has a flight height pole on it with an adjustable ring, so that's pretty nice. And this is removable, of course, so you can display it without. If anybody has seen my Incredible Hulk review from the Avengers, then you'll know this base made an appearance there for both Thor and the Hulk. So absolutely fantastic base. I love this thing. Like I said, it just lends itself to so many different figure applications. Also, you'll notice that here on the front, and I haven't removed the plastic, but it does say Superman, and then underneath it, it has the Superman logo, but underneath it says Superman Evil Version. And that plate is removable. So if you want to buy this off eBay and then take that plate off, you certainly can. So all right, let's get to the figure itself. Okay, so first taking a look at the head sculpt. You know, I've had this problem before with my camera where my camera likes to intensify the colors of things. So I remember with the Mattel Movie Master series, whenever I was doing the reviews for the Superman figures from that line, Superman's suit was always coming across a brighter blue than it actually was. And I can already tell that this is too. The colors are coming across a lot brighter than they actually are in hand. These colors are quite dark and quite muted, but my camera, I don't know, maybe my color settings are set to, you know, oversaturate or something, but he is coming across a lot brighter than he actually is in hand. So please keep that in mind. I wouldn't want, you know, simply my camera to dissuade you from getting this figure thinking that it's not different enough. The suit is quite different. The skin tone is much darker in hand than it's also coming across on my camera. So his skin tone is a lot darker in the face. You can see that he has some stubble. There is some 5 o'clock shadow that's been applied. I won't say that there's been any more sculpting done to this head sculpt, but you know, they could have taken the original mold and done a little scoring or a little scuffing where the 5 o'clock shadow is, because it looks like to me, to my eye, when I'm not looking through the camera, that there's a little texture to the 5 o'clock shadow. So and I don't know if that's coming across very well with my camera, but there does seem to be in hand a slight texture to the 5 o'clock shadow. So, you know, this is still one of the absolute best head sculpts I think Hot Toys has ever produced, especially for an MMS figure and it not being a DX figure. And on this figure, and I never noticed this on the clean version that I had, but it almost looks like the curl is separated. It is. I never messed around with the curl on my original Superman figure, so I don't know if that's exactly the same. I'm almost positive. I'm that it is. Some of the other paint apps that you can see here, there's a darkening under the eyes, which really intensifies the little bags under his eyes. I never really noticed that in the head sculpt before. I'm sure it was there because I don't think much change was made to this at all. You can see a light dusting of gray in the hair, especially around the temples, which is really, really nice. The paint apps on this head sculpt just have to be seen in hand to be believed. They're just absolutely fantastic. It's very subtle paint work, but it comes across very well in hand. It's coming across, like I've said before, much brighter on camera. And you can see with that darker paint, some like right here, you can see a lot of the wrinkling in his face and a lot of the folds in the skin come across. They're just so much more pronounced with that darker paint. Again, this is just absolutely one of the absolute best head sculpts Hot Toys has ever done, especially for a non-DX figure. The quick story, I'm not a huge fan of the Christopher Reeve Superman series. I never was. Growing up, I was more into Star Wars than Superman when it came to movies. But so I've never been too terribly fond of the original. I always thought Christopher Reeve did a great job. I've just never been really fond of the films. And I've always thought that the fight between Clark Kent and Evil Superman in Superman 3 was one of my favorite parts of any of the movies. Even growing up and now as an adult, it's still my favorite part of any of the Superman films. So, when I bought the first Christopher Reeve Superman, it was basically as an investment. I figured this is a figure that's going to sell out. I'll buy it. I'll get the exclusive version. It'll skyrocket in price, and then I will sell it at a profit. And that's kind of sort of what happened. I got the figure, but when I got it in hand, he turned out to be pretty fantastic. So much so that I couldn't bring myself to get rid of him. I actually loved that figure once I got it, and it was like, I'll probably keep this for quite a while. I can't see myself getting rid of it. And then when this figure was announced, let me back up real quick. There was a lot of people making customs of this figure, and I always thought the customs that I saw of this figure were pretty fantastic, and I was like, they need to make like a legitimate version of that figure. And, they finally did. And I can't say that the customs are worse than this. I actually think some of the customs I've seen of this figure are much better than the official Hot Toys release here. But, I don't have the money to pay for one of these, exorbitant prices for, these custom figures. So I just figured that I would pick this guy up, and I figured I would sell my original version to get this guy, because I had him for more than a year, and it's just time to switch up the cabinet, freshen up the collection a little bit. I'm a big proponent of recycling your figures, let somebody else enjoy them, and so I did sell my original to get this guy, and I'm actually really happy that I did. So we're gonna take a quick up and down of the costume just so you can see what it looks like with the darker colors. We're not gonna spend too much time on it because it's pretty much exactly like the original. Okay, just real quickly, I just want to show off the uniform. There's literally no weathering. There's no battle damage. It's simply darker colors, which may or may not be coming across very well on my camera. And so, not a lot there. It's just your standard Hot Toys body underneath with, rubberized chest for extra muscle definition and darker colors on the suit. Not a lot there to talk about. On the back, a little darker colored S on the cape. But what I really like is that I really like the nice wire work that's done in the cape. It's pretty fantastic, and when coupled with the new base and the new and the flight stand, the way it stands in the back, a lot of really good posability with this cape. So I'm very happy with the cape. So let's get this guy on the base and to take a look at how he looks on it. It just looks so good. so I hope you guys enjoyed those poses, and he poses up really nice, especially with this base. I think this is a situation where the base actually elevates the quality of the figure. That just this to me looks more like a statue with that fantastic base than it does a regular Hot Toys figure. This thing is just absolutely fantastic. So hope you enjoyed the poses, and you guys know how I like to end these videos, and that's how this guy is going to pose up on my shelf. So this is how he's going to go on the very top shelf next to Mr. Hulk. Of course, I just don't have any more room in my cabinet since I've consolidated everything into one DTOF, which you can, of course, see behind you. We hope you dug the video. So as always, we ask if you liked it, please comment, like, subscribe, and be sure to check out Ungrownups.com, where you can get your daily news fix, and also check out our podcast, which is new every 3 weeks. So until next time, peace.